It's a great mystery. No one seems to know how the world-famous sauce of Argentina got its name. It's called chimichurri sauce. It's made from loads of fresh herbs. It goes perfectly with grilled meats, and I'd love making it. Today, we are preparing a marinated tri-tip steak with chimichurri sauce and blistered cherry tomatoes. I'm Chef Heidi Fink, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Hi, thanks so much for joining me. We are always looking for that crowd-pleasing, any-day entree. I think I have exactly the thing for you. Tender, tangy, you're going to love it. We're making marinated tri-tip steak with chimichurri sauce and blistered cherry tomatoes. Let's make it happen. So first we have to talk about steak. I'm gonna talk a little bit about different cuts of steak that you can get, tri-tip, or flank steak, or skirt steak, or sirloin cap. I have got some tri-tip steak marinated right here. Here we go. But tri-tip steak is actually sometimes quite difficult to get in Canada, so I'm gonna talk about some of the other cuts you can get. I've got a sirloin cap steak in the fridge. I'm just gonna get that right now. So the thing that's similar about both of these cuts, I'll just bring this back here, is that they both have very distinct grains that go through the meat that you can see. So it is what's called a looser grained meat compared to, say, a ribeye steak. Now, by grain sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? But it sort of relates to wood grains. So you can see even in my cutting board, you can see lines like that. So in the steak, you can see lines. And these are also cuts that are a little bit tougher, but more flavorful, so they go really well with the marinade. Like I said, I do have some tri-tip. I'll just move that aside, and we'll talk a little bit about how you would prepare either one of these steaks. So I've left a little bit of this fat and silver skin on the top just to show you how you would deal with that. So this part is easy to identify, it's fat, but this slightly grayer, maybe more silvery part right here is known as silver skin. It's a connective tissue that's really tough, never breaks down with cooking, so you want to get rid of it. So you're just gonna slide your knife under there. Oh, I've already pre-done it, I'm so smart. You slide your knife. I've got a little boning knife right here. You just wanna cut that all off as much as you possibly can. And it's okay, obviously, to leave a little bit of fat on the meat, but not when it's attached to silver skin like that, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And then it reveals more of this beautiful graining. So I'm gonna cut this in half. So it's similar to what happened over here with this tri-tip steak. This one here is called a sirloin cap. It's quite easy to find in Canada, sometimes easier, like I said, than the tri-tip. You can also use the same method I'm gonna show you with the flank steak. So for the marinade, let me just wash my hands quickly. You always wanna make sure to wash your hands after you handle raw meat. I have a Ziploc bag here. This is one of the easiest and best ways to marinate an unwieldy cut of meat like this. And I have the marinade already made. It's a mixture of soy sauce, cider vinegar, sugar, and some black pepper and a little bit of oil. If you wanted to, you could add some garlic or herbs to that, but because we are gonna be adding this super delicious chimichurri afterwards, which is a garlic herb kind of a pesto, we don't really need to add that to the marinade. So this is just to help tenderize the meat and flavor it. So I'm gonna use some tongs to transfer this. By the way, notice how I have the Ziploc bag held in a bowl, or you could put it in some kind of container, because it gets really sloppy if you're trying to just do that on the counter. We'll put that in there, and then I'm gonna close that up. And we'll put this bowl away. Okay. Now for this particular marinade, you want to do it for a maximum of 8 hours, but you could get away with 2 to 4 hours because there's a tiny bit of vinegar in here, and also the salt and sugar really tenderizes the meat. So I'm just turning this all around so the marinade has a chance to get in there. All right, look at that. So I'm gonna transfer this to the fridge now. Ooh. There we go. Now this steak here that I've already marinated ahead of time, I've brought this out, I've had this at room temperature for about 45 minutes to an hour. That really helps with making the steak cook evenly if you can bring the meat to room temperature ahead of time. And I have my grill pan heated up, and we are going to put this right on there. Ooh, I love a sizzle. So you want to leave it on there to sear. It's smoking. Ah! And you can even do a crisscross mark if you want, which is kind of hard in a small pan, but we're gonna do it. And we're gonna do that on both sides. There we go. Look at those beautiful grill marks. The secret to getting those is always cook it on the diagonal like that. And make sure the grill's very hot. Ooh. Okay. So we're just gonna let that sear for another few seconds. I'm gonna transfer it to this tray, and we're gonna transfer it to the oven. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that looks great. Okay, here we go. Let's see what this side looks like. Beautiful. Oh yeah. So one final thing that's really nice about a tri-tip steak or a cap steak is that one end is a little thinner than the other, so that you have different donenesses in the steak, so you can please all the picky eaters in your house. I'm gonna put this in the oven. There's still a few more things to do, so we'll be back later in the show to finish up our marinated tri-tip steak with chimichurri sauce and blistered tomatoes. But first, we're on the road. I'll see you after the break.
Cookin' on the Road is brought to you by Country Grocer, your local store where you'll feel like family.
I'm in Saanich, in this beautiful farm. This is Gobind Farms. They are famous for their berries. I'm super excited to be here. And there's Satnam. It looks like he's been berry picking.
Hi Heidi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm super happy to be here. Can you tell me a bit about the farm? I know it's a family farm.
Yes, my mom and father started the farm in 1980, growing cold crops, cabbage, lettuce. Then we've slowly diversified, getting more into berries and trying different things every year. We hand plant all our root stock of strawberries by hand. We plant 200,000 plants per year of strawberries, so it's a process. It takes a lot of time. These ones are we're just did our first harvest today of this Albion crop here.
These look so good. These are way bigger than the raspberries in my garden. Are there special variety?
Well, this is a later variety. It's just starting. We have an earlier variety that was smaller. This year the fruit was smaller due to the cold, wet weather and the cold spring we had. But this variety now will make up for the season.
I consider myself a kind of a raspberry picking expert because I actually have raspberries in my garden.
You're hired.
Oh, great. Where do I get free berries?
You bet. You'll be eating more than you're picking.
Yeah, I know. That's why I never take my kids berry picking anymore, because I have to weigh them before we go into the farm and then weigh them when we come out. So this is awesome. We've seen strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. What else are you going to show me?
We're going to head down to the market, and I've got something lined up for you down there.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Heidi, welcome to the Gobind Warehouse Market. I'm Greg.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thank you so much.
So everything that you see here, we grow on the farm.
Okay.
We have some fresh kale, fresh rhubarb, some different kinds of squash that are coming up. And then behind me, you will find the featured
jackpot.
berries. That's right.
So I see some beautiful strawberries. Oh, and raspberries and blueberries. And I also see some tayberries here, which I am really, really, really excited about.
Feel free to try one or two if you like.
I will. I'll try one.
So early July is the best peak season for tayberries. They don't last long, so come and get them while you can.
Yeah, for sure. And I see that you also sell like berry products. It looks like jam and...
Yes, we do. So we have an assortment of different jams and syrups that we make here at the farm.
That's a great way to preserve the harvest.
We also have a number of freezers here with frozen berries. So if you happen to miss the berry season and you're really feeling like a smoothie, you can come and we're happy to set you up with something like that.
Local berries all year round.
All year round.
That's amazing.
And we actually have something also exciting to show you, a family recipe.
Oh, really?
That's lots of fun for the kids and excited to show that to you.
Okay.
Hi, girls.
So what have we got here?
This is a special family recipe. Oma calls it mess.
Okay,
So
next.
this is Samria, Jasmine, and Elise.
Hi, girls.
And
Nice to meet you.
They are going to be helping us put this together today. And so what we'll get you guys to do is we'll get each of you to just crunch those meringues and break them up into that whipped cream
Wow,
mixture. How about that? Go for it.
I'm pretty excited about that. I can see why it's called a mess.
That's right. Usually we have about 2 cups whipping cream and about a cup of each kind of fresh berry.
Right.
Look at all those colors. So now we're going to add just a little bit of our Gobind Farms blackberry syrup on top.
Goodness. Oh, this is going to be good.
This is gonna be great.
Thank you so much.
All right, who else would like some?
This is amazing.
All right.
It doesn't get better than berries and whipped cream. This is so good. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, girls, for making this, and thank you for showing me the farm.
Anytime, Heidi.
It's been a pleasure having you.
So glad to have you back. We are making marinated tri-tip steak with chimichurri sauce and blistered tomatoes. We just have a few more steps to go. My steaks are done and they're resting. We'll talk about how to tell the steak is perfectly done in just a few minutes. But first I want to blister the cherry tomatoes, make the chimichurri sauce. So for the blistered cherry tomatoes, I'm going to use the same grill. I didn't even clean it. We're just going to throw them right on there. I have a little bit of olive oil on here and a tiny bit of salt and pepper. If you were to do this on your barbecue, make sure that your barbecue has small grates, otherwise the tomatoes can fall through. Otherwise you can get one of those special, veggie pans for the barbecue. So we're gonna toss that up. Boom, 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 boom. This is the real reason I became a chef, is so I can toss things in a bowl. There we go. We want those to be nice and hot, so I'm gonna turn that up. You wanna get some nice color on there. Those are gonna be a couple of minutes, so let's make the chimichurri sauce. So chimichurri is a herb-based sauce, kind of similar to pesto, but it does not have any nuts or cheese in it. It's from South America. It is made out of parsley, cilantro, fresh mint, garlic, sometimes oregano and chili. I'm also gonna add some lemon zest to mine. So right here I have 1 cup of parsley. You wanna remove the big stems, but you can use the small stems, and I'm using, that's making some noise now. I'm using flat leaf parsley. You can use either type. And then I have 1/2 cup of fresh mint leaves, 1/2 cup of cilantro leaves, and again, as with the parsley, you can use some soft stems. So after the cilantro, we've got 2 teaspoons of fresh oregano. You could leave this one out if you wanted to, but I like to have as many herbs as possible. Just gonna put these in the sink. Then we need 5 cloves of garlic. These are some pretty big garlic cloves, so use your judgment. Lemon, so we're gonna zest a lemon. So we want the entire lemon zested, so remember, just the colored peel, and then we're gonna juice it as well. Cut that in half. Hang on. These tomatoes are stealing the show, I think. Okay, so some of the small ones are done. I'm gonna pull them out. So don't be shy to pull them out at different times. Okay. They're so pretty. I'll leave the last couple on there, but I'm gonna turn it off and just let it cook in the residual heat. Now we need a lemon juicer. Hopefully I have more luck with this time. There we go. So we're gonna do the whole lemon. So that's about 2 to 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Looks good. And then some freshly ground pepper. You can also use chili if you really like chili. I really like black pepper with steak. I really love the pepper steak flavor, so I'm gonna use black pepper. And then a teaspoon of salt. That's probably more than a teaspoon. Let's take these cherry tomatoes off. So they're not cooked all the way through. They're just blistered and grilled and slightly softened, and it just increases the intensity of the flavor. Okay. Now, the last thing that goes in our chimichurri is half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. You could use a different oil if you wanted, maybe avocado oil. I would almost be tempted to make this with melted butter if I were making a steak. And now we are going to blend this up. I've packed so many herbs in here, it's going to take a minute to blend. There we go. Right now, oh, I'm being like assaulted by herbs. I can just smell the garlic, the mint, the cilantro. Oh, smells so good. All right, there we go. We have a beautiful puree. Now, what you want to do, if you do want to clean out the bottom to get every last bit out, my tiny spatula, we just pull the bottom end of the blade off the machine first because you don't want it to accidentally go on. All right, get rid of that here. Let's get rid of all of this. Okay, so we have our chimichurri sauce, we have our blistered tomatoes. I'm gonna move these aside, I'm gonna get our steaks. We're gonna talk about how we know they're cooked perfectly, and I'm gonna show you how to cut them. Here we go. So, my number one tip for making sure the steak is done properly is to buy a thermometer. There's a whole bunch of different kinds you can get. These ones are nice. This is a Thermopen knockoff. You put it in. This has already been resting, so we're up to medium rare now. But what you want is to pull it off at between 120 and 125 and then let it rest. It should come up to between 130 and 135 if you want rare. It just went over slightly, but that's all right. I'm gonna take one of these steaks off of here. I'm just gonna cut one of them. There are other techniques to, you can feel the meat. It should still have like some squish to it, but honestly, the most consistent way is to get a thermometer. Now next, to cut the steak, first I gotta put arugula on my platter. Hang on, getting ahead of myself. So I've got this beautiful platter right here. I'm gonna put a bed of arugula down on it. You could use other greens if you want, but I just love arugula. It's kind of peppery flavor, really matches well with steak, so we're gonna make a nice bed there. Now, this is my second favorite tip about cooking meat, is to buy yourself a meat slicer. You can use this for roasts, for steaks, for turkey. It always cuts it really evenly. So you grab it with some tongs and you're gonna slice down. Oh, look at that. Oh. We're gonna slice it really thin. It's so beautiful. So this is a more coarse textured steak, like I said. So you wanna make sure to cut it thin. Look at how beautiful that is inside. See, thermometers, everybody. We're gonna lay it on the bed of arugula. I probably could have let this rest a bit longer, to be honest, because the longer that you let meat rest, the less of the blood that comes out of it, and that helps keep it really juicy. Now I'm gonna lay this down. Oh, there's something about this that looks so good. Now we are gonna scatter some cherry tomatoes all over that and around it, and just get really excited. And then I'm just gonna drizzle some of this cherry tomato juice on there, because why not? Okay, I'm saving these for the other steak. And then some chimichurri sauce. I found some chunks of herbs, but that is all right. There we go. So we're gonna put that right over the top, make sure every piece gets some chimichurri on it. And there we go. Now the last thing I have is, just before we started rolling, I put some bread in the oven, so I'm gonna pull that out, put it on a plate beside. There we go. There you have it. Marinated tri-tip steak with chimichurri sauce and blistered cherry tomatoes. It is so good. I hope you love it.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
A perfect steak needs the perfect pairing. So Chris from Unsworth Vineyard is here to help us out. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Thank you for having me, Heidi.
I'm very excited to see what you got pairing with this steak and chimichurri sauce.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Symphony. It's a red blend from my family's vineyard on Vancouver Island, up in the Cowichan Valley, not too far from here. So obviously, full-bodied red wine and steak, not a game changer
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But there's a little kind of herbaceous note to the wine, which I think is going to be really special with the chimichurri
Okay,
itself.
and is that like a West Coast kind of influence?
Yeah, absolutely. The blend in Symphony is kind of a unique blend to Vancouver Island. You know, what's Vancouver Island without something a little different from the rest of the world,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, so although the backbone of our production is in Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, we do a few other wines, sparkling and this red blend.
I've heard that you guys have the best reds on the island, so I'm pretty excited to try this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also impressed with your wine opening skills.
Well, here, I'll let you try that.
All right. Smells good. Actually, I don't know how it smells. It smells good, but
Well, you might pick up on some of
Cheers.
those kind of like cedary or kind of coastal notes, going well with the chimichurri, like I said.
oh yeah. Yeah, I could definitely I can taste that cedar note that you're talking about.
But I can't wait to dig into the steak.
Okay, let's dig in. Let's try it out. Steak with chimichurri. Oh, he's got the arugula. He's upping the game here. So good. I'm gonna try it with some wine.
Oh, forget the wine. I can just have the steak.
Forget the steak, I can just have the wine. That is a very good pairing. It doesn't really compete, I don't think. It actually makes the meat taste almost sweeter.
Yeah, right. And it really plays on that lift, right? And the greenness of the arugula, the kind of nice pop of the tomatoes. You know, I think
Yeah, this is great. And so this vineyard is how old now?
we purchased the property in 2009, and the vineyards were already planted, some of them, and then we worked with a few other growers throughout the Cowichan Valley. But yeah, we're relatively new in the world of wine.
Right, but Cowichan Valley is an amazing wine region.
It is. It's really coming into its own. You know, a lot of bubbles, a lot of crisp white wines, but you know, like I said, there are some kind of interesting outliers as well, like this kind of more robust robust red wine.
Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure's mine.
We would love to see your take on this steak. Share your photo on social media and tag us at Chef Heidi Fink and at Chek Media. For the recipes, just follow the links below. I'm Chef Heidi Fink. Remember, the more you learn, the better it tastes. I'm gonna actually have like a tomato with this. Tomato, you can have like a big piece of steak.